acquire full legal personality and for the said member state to affirm their full commitment and support toward the organization. In addition, the ratification of the treaty will make it possible for SASCO to be transformed into an international organization which will be registered at the United Nations and accorded all rights and obligations under the international status. Strategic objectives of Southern African Science Service Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Management in Land Management. Number 1, research and evidence-based policy development. So SASCO aims to generate demand-driven scientific data to inform climate adaptation policies, particularly in the agriculture, water, forestry and land sectors. This will enable policymakers to craft informed, resilient and sustainable responses to climate challenges. Number 2, capacity building for climate science application. To make scientific insights accessible and actionable, SASCO provides tailored knowledge products and training for policymakers, communities and farmers, facilitating climate resilient practices at multiple levels. And number 3, human capital development in climate science. SASCO emphasizes academic and non-academic capacity building initiatives, such as establishing graduate schools within member states. In Zambia, this includes a plan for graduate school in forestry and woodland management, which will address critical skills gap in climate and land management. So key programs for Zambia. Zambia's research and scientific institutions that participated in these research initiatives were equipped with research infrastructure including fully equipped analytical laboratories, data processing and storage servers, and automatic weather stations, among others. The data processing and storage servers and automatic weather stations, among others, and the weather observations network has not only modernized our infrastructure but improved the coverage of our network and strengthened the capacity of Zambia Meteorological Department to provide timely weather information and services. A total of 36 students were supported at bachelor's, master's and PhD levels, and various tailor-made trainings were given to local communities in the field to capacity build them in various undertakings that they are involved in. Community certificate trainings were offered during this program. Achievement of such nature through a single initiative, particularly focusing on climate change and land management, are significant. The knowledge generated from the research activities and the capacity built will continue to be of benefit to our country for a long time to come. Overall, Zambia benefited from this research portfolio in the form of, among others, soil and plant analysis laboratory, 19 automatic weather stations, honey processing laboratory established at Mulungushi University, acoustic Doppler current profile for waterfall measurements at the School of Mines, University of Zambia, and one bathymetric survey boat for measuring water volumes at University of Zambia, 3 observatories for biodiversity monitoring. Zambia's participation in SASCO has already brought significant investment into scientific research and development. In monetary terms, the country has benefited a total of 3,984,957.03 euros. This is equivalent to 38,813,481 kwacha 15 ngwe. Key programs implemented include number 1, SASCO 1.0 and SASCO 2.0. So since 2012, SASCO's initiatives have focused on integrated research in critical areas such as water, biodiversity and agriculture, with a cumulative investment of over 3.8 million euros in Zambia. These efforts have modernized Zambia's scientific infrastructure, supporting projects that enhance agriculture resilience, environmental monitoring and community training. Number 2, innovative technologies to improve climate resilience, intake raise. This project has enabled the training of agriculture technicians in drone technology, remote sensing, and climate data applications, ensuring innovative practice in climate resilience agriculture. The third one is the H2 Atlas Africa project, focused on exploring potential for green hydrogen production in Zambia. This project supports renewable energy solutions crucial for Zambia's long-term energy security and climate strategy. Wetland management and assessment, the first one. So the WetMast project has strengthened Zambia's capacities in GIS and remote sensing for climate adaptation, providing tools for early warning systems, land use monitoring, and community-based flood management solutions. In terms of the list of funding to projects in Zambia, we got about 18 of them, and the amount of money has been put in the table that is provided. UNZA has benefited in terms of funding 5,277,719 kwacha, 719 kwacha 91 ingwe. They've got National Remote Sensing Center about 1.7 million, Zari 1.7 million, Mulungushi 5 million, Forestry 1.4 million, UNZA again 4.7 million, ZMD 1.65 million, Mulungushi again 6.6 million, ZA 1.977 million, ZAWA again 807,000, UNZA again 3.99 million, Thread 1.3 million, ZAST 1 million, CBNRM 1.5 million, and in total 38,813,481.5 million. Policy implications and impact of SASCO. Enhance scientific capacity. Number one, through SASCO, Zambia has developed a robust research infrastructure including weather station, laboratories, and specialized equipment. These resources support national climate policies and strengthen Zambia's position in regional and global climate adaptation efforts. Number two, increased investment in climate research. SASCO's funding and partnership presents a model for sustainable research funding in Zambia, emphasizing the value of scientific autonomy to drive locally relevant policy solutions. Number three, financial contributions. After signing the treaty, Zambia is expected to make annual country contributions of about 360,211 euros. The committee may wish to note that benefits that accrue to Zambia outweigh the contributions as demanded under number 6. Stakeholder consultations. The ministry undertook stakeholder consultation on Wednesday 16th October 2024 at Grand Palace Hotel, and all the stakeholders supported the proposal to ratify the treaty. Number 9, benefit for ratifying the treaty. Ratifying the treaty will significantly benefit Zambia in the following ways. Number 1, enhance research capabilities. The treaty will strengthen our local and regional capacities in generating robust scientific research in the field of climate change, leading to data-driven policies tailored to Zambia's unique challenges in climate and land management. Number 2, human capacity development. By joining this regional initiative, Zambia will benefit from capacity building programs that equip our scientists, researchers, and policymakers with the skills needed to address climate-related issues. This will create a workforce capable of driving sustainable development and climate resilience. Number 3, economic and social benefits. Effective climate change adaptation strategies and improved land management will enhance agricultural productivity and food security, positively impacting the livelihoods of Zambians, particularly in rural communities. This aligns with our broader goal of poverty reduction. Number 4, climate action and adaptation. Zambia will benefit from increased capacity to implement climate actions and adopt adaptive land management policy practices. This will help Zambia mitigate the impact of climate change on our agriculture, water resource, and biodiversity. Number 5, regional collaboration. By participating in the SASCO network, Zambia will benefit from regional knowledge sharing and collaboration. This will enhance collective efforts across Southern Africa to combat climate change and its effects. Number 6, access to resources and services. Ratifying the treaty will provide Zambia with access to key services such as research funding, technical support, and data management systems, empowering the country to conduct comprehensive climate research and apply findings practically to improve policy and land management. And the last one, legal and institutional strengthening through ratification. Ratifying the SASCO treaty will provide Zambia with the benefit of an internationally recognized organization advancing Zambia's commitment to collaborative science and climate resilience within SADC and beyond. In conclusion, Chair, the government of the Republic of Zambia recognizes and appreciates the role that SASCO plays in addressing the adverse effects of climate change, which has direct impact on Zambia's agricultural productivity and resource sustainability. Ratifying the SASCO treaty will enable Zambia to enhance its scientific capacity, generate data-driven policies, and foster regional cooperation in climate adaptation and land management. I submit.
Thank you so much for that submission. Honorable members, questions? Honorable Tayengwa.
Thank you, PS. I think this is one of the best presentations that we've received. But looking at the way you've presented, we have had the other stakeholders who have argued that this treaty should not sit under your ministry, but instead it should sit under the Ministry of Green Economy. I wanted you to comment. I know you've explained it on page 3 and page 4, but I wanted you to comment because a number of people believe that this treaty should actually have sat in the Ministry of Green Economy, not Ministry of Science and Technology. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mtachalo.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, PS. Just to support my colleague, it is a detailed presentation, PS, quite very rich. PS, currently the country is still has not yet met its full financial obligation to SASCO. We still have an outstanding balance of 1.3 million euros, 1.3 million euros.
It's quite.
It's quite,
Euros.
Or euros. Of course, the benefits, indeed, the country is driving quite a number of benefits in view of a number of presentations which have been given to this committee. So since SASCO falls under your jurisdiction, what guarantee is there that once we ratify this one, we will not have a problem of meeting our financial obligations? So what commitment are you giving to this committee that we will not have challenges to pay these fees annually? I thank you.
Thank you so much. PS, you may respond to those questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Tayengwa and Honorable Mtachalo, for the question that you have asked. So the first question that Honorable Tayengwa raised relates to where the treaty should sit, that it's best suited to actually sit under the Ministry of Green Economy as opposed to sitting under the Ministry of Technology and Science. So for us as the Ministry of Technology and Science, maybe our submission would be that would not have an issue where it sits. We know that within it there are some of the benefits that relate to issues of research, and when it comes to issues of scientific research and innovation technology, that is the mandate of our ministry. But you know very well that other institutions are still carrying out research. For instance, there is research that is happening in the and yet that is actually sitting under the Ministry of Agriculture and not really sitting under us here. So we would not have, an issue ourselves, if at all, the feeling is that it should actually sit under the Ministry of Green Economy. We will gladly accept that there. Because we know that, at the end of the day, it is still a one government approach that we are taking, and whether it is sitting at whichever ministry like that there, we'll still be able to do our collaborative work and work effective at the end of the day. So have got no issues ourselves, even if it was to sit under the Ministry of Green Economy. Then coming to the question that Honorable Chalo has raised, what guarantee, can we give, concerning, the payments of the obligation that comes with the ratifying this treaty there. Like I had mentioned in the presentation, obviously the benefits that we are going to be getting from here outweighs the obligations that we are actually meeting there. We see a situation where the benefits are going to help even improve the economy. And if at all our economy has improved as a result of this, then we would not see a situation, we would not see a reason as to why we would be failing to have, resources that would actually allow us to, to be able to meet these financial obligations. For now, yes, we have got that balance that we have there, and mainly, basically because at some point we may not have enough funding that was coming. We also had a challenge where our budget was actually cut by around 39%, basically because of the droughts, and again the drought coming as a result of the challenges which this very same treaty is supposed to actually help address there. So if for instance we did not have a drought, then we would have been able to actually meet the obligation that we are failing to meet just now there. So for me, I feel that it will be important that we support the ratification of this, and to be able to meet those obligations in the future. I submit, and honorable members.
Thank you so much. Any other questions, honorable? Follow-up question? You can go ahead and ask.
Thank you, Chairperson. PS, I wanted to find out this same treaty, if once it is ratified, is it going to help a lot looking at the climate bill or climate bill which hasn't been presented before Parliament, and once the law is enacted and to become more effective? So I wanted to find out whether it would be right to sign a treaty without having any legal framework to support this treaty, because we keep on signing most of these treaties all the time, but when it comes to domesticate them into our local laws, it takes time. So do you think it is right to subscribe to such treaties before we come up with a legal framework that will speak to the same treaties?
Thank you so much. In addition, I know, PS, that you have responded that you have been trying to make payments or contributions towards our obligation as a country. I want to bring it to your attention that from 2020, the last payment was made in 2020, and we are now standing at, I wanted also to make a clarification that it's actually euros. Some of us actually thought it was one it's in kwacha, but it's actually even more. It seems to be a lot of money. We have had the stakeholders that have complained, not really complaining, but they submitted that most of the times we as a country, we are quick at signing. We are very good at agreeing to the commitments, but we fail. I think I would say in two ways. One, it's one of these same issues where you fail to comply with the agreements that you signed to. Then the other one is you fail to even implement. So it's like the desire to just sign these agreements is just the financial obligation. You get the money as a country, you use it, but when it comes to even fully implementing the program so that they can benefit the people, sometimes we even fail. So I would like to get your comment as a committee on what you are going to do to ensure that you do your part, even as we sign these treaties. You make sure that you do your own part as government, and you also assure this committee that you are going to ensure that the activities that are under SASCO are implemented effectively. So thank you so much. You may go ahead and respond.
Thank you so much. So to also at some point allow me to invite my director here to just assist me there. So relating to the question that Honorable Tayongwa, we were asking that he would not yet have the legal framework, on which once we have ratified this treaty there, where we are going to actually anchor it all, because it's like we are behind in terms of the law, and then we are actually quick to think of ratifying this. So there's some kind of maybe a gap at the end of the day, which would actually make it difficult for us to do to fully implement and probably even begin to get the benefits that we are expected to get there. Yeah, I want to agree with you that yes, in order for us to fully implement it, there will be need for us to actually accelerate other laws, because obviously when we do not have these laws in place there, then it becomes very difficult for us to actually fully implement and actually also begin to first even domesticate it there. So maybe this is an issue that we will need to see how we speak to our colleagues for which the other law is actually supposed to sit with there, so that they too can see how they can actually accelerate some other aspect in order for us to realize the dreams that we can realize from this day. And the same also speaks to what Honorable Chair, the issue that you have raised there, actually raised the very same question that Honorable Tayongwa was raising there. Times it becomes very difficult for us to see the benefits, basically because of the legal framework which is not properly sitting, and so at the end of the day it becomes difficult. So on one hand, you've got these obligations where you have to pay the money, but basically because the legal framework is not well, it's not well arranged, or it's not sitting well, it becomes very difficult for us to get there. So I want to assure this committee that we work with the relevant ministry, so that we can push for the other laws to be in place in order for us to see the benefit. Clearly speaking, even if we rush without that, it will be very difficult for us to do it here. Yes, when it comes to the money that we are owing, where we've said that it's actually 1.3 million euros, and not quite that is a colossal amount of money there. Maybe I'll allow my director planning to help me respond to this question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, PS, and thank you so much, Chair. As regard to the outstanding balance, I think we need to reconcile the figures, because to my knowledge it's not in euros. Of course we are contributing in euros. For instance, the contribution, it is 316,211 euros annually. What I want to indicate to the members of the committee is that the ministry has actually prioritized for funding for this initiative, and has set aside funds for 2025, which is a contribution that is going to be made. So once Parliament approves the 2025 budget, the ministry will actually continue contributing and obliging or complying to the obligations that the treaty demands.
Thank you so much. Follow-up questions, Honorable Katambo, then Honorable Taingo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. PS, SASCO has planned to establish graduate schools. For example, Namibia, the host, has already implemented one on a graduate school on integrated water resource management. Zambia also plans to have one on forestry and wetland management. When do you think this will be actualized? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Taingo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just wanted you to clarify, the Director, the issue of how much is owed, because the establishment on page 2, the establishment was formalized in 2013 with Zambia joining in signing the treaty on the 26th of September 2019. So there are almost about 4 years that have passed, and you're saying that the amount that one country has to subscribe annually is about 200 and something euros. So with my calculation, it adds up to about 1 point something million. So I wanted to find out if you have made any subscription, because from 2019 when the treaty was signed, I don't know whether you have made any subscription to this organization, because the amount that is mentioned is about 1.1 million. So it looks like it has accumulated. Maybe if you can clarify that.
You can respond to those questions.
Okay, thank you. I think I'll start with the last question that Honorable Taingo has asked there. Even me, when I look at the figures, if you are paying about 316,000 and then you would not pay that amount of money there, for just about 3 years, then it costs to $1 million. So I want to think that the figure that is being mentioned over there is correct, that it is actually 1.3 million euros and not really like in quarter there. Yes, obviously I think there have been some kind of challenges that has been there in the past there, and part of the reason is the very same issue that we are talking about, domesticating this, so that we quickly begin to get the benefits out of it. I think at some point we were asked by Treasury, yes, in the letter that are normally addressed to the controlling officers around issues of making payments where we are not yet getting some benefit, and the very same reason that we have used, which we have raised there, when you are not seeing the benefit immediately there, I think it has also constrained even past controlling officers from the time it was ratified and from the time we joined to just be paying like that there, until we first of all work on that law that you are talking about, which is very important. And we thank you for bringing this out there, because then it also helps us to quickly get to go and address some of the gaps that has yes. So I want to think that the figure is correct in terms of euros. It is not in quarter. Then coming to the question that Honorable Katambo has raised, when we plan to have a graduate school also, just like what has happened in Namibia, I would not be able, Honorable Minister, a member of this committee, to give the answer. Obviously, these are also dependent on us working on these other laws that we are talking about here, including the guidelines. That follows below the actual act once. The actual bill was enacted into law. So then it is actually going to also help us, so that we have got an implementation plan around exactly when now we can get. But what we can just say that is what we are trying to see at the end. We see that we should also be able to be like Namibia, but within there's a certain thing that we need to actually do in order for us to get there. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. I think this is where we come to the end of the discussion. Would have loved to continue, but the other witnesses here. Thank you so much for coming. And next, maybe if you have anything else to add before we remove the immunity.
Thank you, Chair. Just to thank you and your committee and for the healthy and the good conversation. I think we've taken quite a number of issues that will help us, even as we push for the ratification of this. So at 6 we go and work with our other, ministries.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we would also like to sincerely thank you for appearing before the committee, and we hereby withdraw the immunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.